Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Just like you, I'm an independent retail business owner. I love the home decor and gift boutique I co-own with my sister, but I don't want it to consume me or my life. Join me each week as I share lessons learned, helpful tips, and valuable information for your retail business and life. Whether you're buying your products or making your products, whether you're a $25K business or a $2.5 million business, I'm on a mission to help indie retailers work less, profit more, and grow. Let's get started on today's episode. Welcome to episode 132 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. What I learned from the 2022 Savvy Shopkeeper survey. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. So my intention for this episode is to share some of the results from this year's survey. 146 of you completed the survey. That was fantastic, and I appreciate that so many of you took the time to do that. I try to make the surveys simple. It usually only takes you a few minutes, but I really appreciate it because many of you gave me more insight, feedback, suggestions. Like, you didn't just check off the boxes. You actually gave me more than just checking off the boxes, and I appreciate that. The survey gives me insight into all of you, your struggles, and how this business, Savvy Shopkeeper, can help you more. I get to know group members pretty well, especially Master Shopkeepers members. But because the podcast and my newsletter, my email newsletter, they're just really one-way roads. Like, I can only communicate with you. You don't always communicate with me. I mean, you're always welcome to hit the reply button on my emails, but it often feels like a one-way road. So the survey gives me an opportunity to learn more about podcast listeners and email subscribers, and even more importantly, again, where I can help. So let's kick this off with some of the survey results. 84% of you, or from the people that took the survey, are brick and mortar store owners. And this wasn't surprising to me. I've really shifted a lot more into brick and mortar content over the past year or two. But what I think is interesting is how many of you are makers too. You not only run a brick and mortar business, but you're making some or all of your own products. And that's no small feat. I want to acknowledge that. I don't have the percentage of you that are both makers and brick and mortar store owners, but it is higher than what I was expecting. So shout out to all of you doing both. Half of the survey respondents indicated that they've been open less than 5 years, and the other half have been open more than 5 years. And some of you, actually a decent amount, I wish I would have written down that percentage too, but a decent amount were open more than 10 or maybe even 20 years. So I feel like this whole episode, I'm going to be like giving special shout outs to all of you. But I think the split between being open less than 5 years and being open more than 5 years was about half. In fact, I think it was 55 to 45. But I was pleasantly surprised to see so many of you have been open so long, and that includes me. We're in year 8 at my own store, the store I co-own with my sister. 23% of survey respondents indicated that they generate $500,000 in revenue or more every year. And that's incredible. So again, another shout out. And this was really insightful. 23% is a substantial amount, to me at least. And it's given me some ideas for content moving forward on the podcast. So watch out for that. The next question I asked was, are you pleased with your revenue? And this one was really interesting, because many respondents use the other option, and it has an open field where you can add an explanation. And the comments varied, but it was interesting to me because this one seemed to create a kind of like I need to explain this. I can't just pick out of the 3 options you gave me. I have to explain this further. The other 3 responses the other 3 options that were responses were, yes, I'm pleased with my revenue. No, I'm not pleased with my revenue. And then the other one was, I'm getting there. But they even bypassed the I'm getting there and went with the other option. But for the 3 responses that I had of the yes, the no, and I'm getting there, it was pretty split. It was a third of you are happy with the revenue your business is generating, a third were not, and a third feel like they're getting where they want to be. My next question was about where shopkeepers currently need education and support. And the top 3 were pretty strong and stood out from the rest of the list. Last year's biggest response was strategy and growth, and that one was enlightening to me. Now, strategy and growth still came in second, but the number 1 response was marketing. And I'm guessing it's because this year I added getting foot and online traffic. So my thinking is in years past, maybe foot traffic wasn't so much of a concern, but now that so many of us have e-commerce stores and I added online traffic, this one seemed to bump marketing up to number 1. And I get it. E-commerce is new to many of you, and you want to increase your online traffic. And of course, you want to increase your online orders. But I understand, or at least I could gauge from some of the comments that I was receiving, that foot traffic has been a bit of a struggle too. So overall, it's marketing in order to get more people into your store to buy or to your website to buy. Almost everyone who responded listens to the podcast, so thank you. Really, this podcast now averages, I think, around 15,000 downloads per month. And to me, that's huge, and I appreciate it, and I'm so happy that you're listening, and I genuinely hope that it's helping you. And this actually leads to my third big thank you. One other question I tend to ask every year on the survey is, how did you find Savvy Shopkeeper? And Facebook and the podcast are usually the top 2. And that was still the case this year, but what was pleasantly surprising and in third place is that a friend or someone else in your life recommended Savvy Shopkeeper, and that means a lot to me too, especially in the retail industry. That doesn't always happen, so I really appreciate that you're all sharing about me. The last question on the survey that I want to mention is a question where I asked, I currently offer group memberships and an in-person retreat. What else do you wish I would offer to help you in your business? Now, of course, I am paying particular attention to this one, and I won't share all the results from this question, but short courses and programs like the Retail CEO Challenge came in second, and I saw that, and I see it, and I'm working on that. And that's part of the reason why I chose to offer the email marketing challenge right now. This is the email marketing challenge that I recently hosted in Master Shopkeepers. It's a short, and I say short, it's 5 weeks, easily digestible program with education. I think that's the big thing is I'm teaching every week. There's a slide deck every week. You're going to be taking lots of notes. And the other really important thing to mention is that this challenge, if you show up, it will give you results. I'll be teaching live on Zoom every week for 5 weeks. I'll answer your questions, and you'll get specific email marketing tips just for retail business owners. And this is hard to find when you're Googling. It's hard to find email marketing content that's specific to retailers. And that's what this whole entire 5-week challenge is about. So if you didn't catch last week's episode, that's 131. Yeah, I have to think about it. If you didn't catch that episode, number 131, or you didn't get my emails or you haven't had time to read them, the cart for the email marketing challenge is going to close in 2 days from the date this podcast episode publishes. So just to give you reference, because it's weird, I'm recording this like 2 weeks in advance, but then it lives on forever. So I like to give reference to specific dates. So this podcast episode is publishing on Thursday, July 28th, 2022. And the cart to sign up for the email marketing challenge and to register is closing on Saturday, July 30th, 2022. And then we'll start that Monday, which is August 1st, 2022. So if you want to learn how to use email marketing, or if you want some accountability, because maybe you have it set up but don't do anything with it, if you want to put more effort into this aspect of marketing your retail business, sign up and join us. It is fun. We actually really enjoyed it in Master Shopkeepers. So members of Master Shopkeepers had some amazing results, and I actually I copied and pasted some of the testimonials that they've been sharing with me, so I'm going to share them here. One member said, "Oh my gosh, Kathy, can I tell you how flipping motivated I am after one of your lessons? My head is swimming with ideas. I'll be asking for input as soon as I get it together." Another group member said, "I had a customer walk in and purchase an item that she saw in my email sent on Tuesday," and she gave me a high five emoji. Another member said, "I'm playing catch up on the calls, but I sent out my mid-month email this week and had 3 people sign up for workshops right away. So that's a win for sure. And my list has been growing very consistently." One more group member said, "I've grown email lists for my other business, but this is the first one for the shop and it feels good to have that checked off. Yay, thanks for the push, Kathy." And then I have a few more. "Kathy Cruz, you have created a monster. I've become obsessed with Klaviyo and I'm coming up with so many ideas for flows and segments. And my day started off amazingly when I woke up to another order that was a first-time order from someone who signed up with my welcome code. It works. It really works." And then she gave a couple exclamation points. 2 more. Another group member said, "I think the email challenge has been my most favorite thing ever." And this group member, man, she's been on this journey with me a long time, and I could tell she absolutely loved it. And the last testimonial that I have is, I have another group member who said, "I love that it scaled well regardless of our starting spot. It worked for each of us and created space to find motivation and inspiration from each other, again, regardless of starting point." That's the mark of a good program, yeah? So thank you to all of those Master Shopkeepers who shared that feedback with me. It's really important too. That's how I knew. I thought, okay, I've taught this in Master Shopkeepers. I think everyone else is going to love it, but having them validate that and having them all get results from it is what really sparked me to offer this to everyone else. So if you want to register for this 5-week challenge, you'll visit savvyshopkeeper.com/email challenge. I'm going to say it one more time. savvyshopkeeper.com/email challenge. So obviously I am paying attention to the top 5 responses to the question that I asked about what you all want me to offer. And I will have much more on all of this soon, including what came in number 1. I just want to say that I'm really excited about all of it. But I also appreciate all of the additional comments and the thoughts and your suggestions and the struggles that you shared with me. Some of you were really vulnerable, and some of you gave me at least feedback to me that's important. So I have 4 things that I want to read off that people said. Someone said, "If I hadn't found your podcast, I probably would have given up by now." And that one hit me. She said, "You inspire me to keep working hard, change things, and lean on other shopkeepers so I can be successful down the road. Thank you, Kathy, for building an amazing group of people and business so we can learn and grow together." That was a lab member, and that one hit me, struck me hard in a good way. Someone else said, "I love your podcast and I'm just beginning to dig into all of the resources that you offer. The info and encouragement you provide is invaluable. Thank you." Someone else said, "I have learned so much from being a part of the lab community. You have been a great help. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." And then the last one that I want to share with you is someone who said, "I'm a huge fan of your podcast. I have checked out other retail podcasts, but nothing is as good as yours. I especially enjoy the calm and clear way you speak, which makes listening a highlight of every week for me. You help reduce my anxiety and give me confidence to keep moving ahead with new tools and ideas to improve how I operate my business and adjust my mindset. Keep them coming, Kathy." So, there were quite a few things in there that meant a ton to me and kind of warmed my heart. Like, you're telling me I'm helping you with your businesses. You're telling me that I'm creating a beautiful community. You're telling me that I'm lessening anxiety for you. That is crazy. You're telling me I'm building your confidence. I'm giving you tools and ideas. Like, everything from those four pieces of feedback that those 4 individuals gave me, it means a lot. And this is what propels me forward. It gets me even more excited about the upcoming year. One interesting thing that surfaced during this survey is several of you asked to shadow me at my store, and this is a new one. Now, I have considered VIP days where I spend 1 full day with a shopkeeper. We set up systems, we review financials, all of that stuff. And of course, I haven't offered that. But now this one has my mind racing. I just wanted to mention that because it was kind of fun and it was different. Also, your comments on the survey are the reason I offered the free cash flow masterclass that I recently taught. So again, I am listening. One other thing I want to mention is that quite a few of you asked for specific lessons. Now, I can only do and teach so much in a 20-minute podcast, especially without visuals. And this is why I have group memberships and definitely why I started building the Shopkeepers Academy. Many of these lessons that you're asking me for are already in the Academy, and so many of the questions you have are answered in our Facebook groups. Ask any group member and they'll tell you that the search box alone in the Facebook groups are gold mines for information. I mean, you can search loyalty program and you're going to get a ton of conversations. You can search gross profit margin. You can search inventory turnover. I mean, you can search anything that you want, ambassador program, and you'll get something or many things. If you think I give a lot on this podcast, I give 10, 20 times more in my group memberships and through the Academy. And the 2 group memberships I offer are the Shopkeepers Lab and Master Shopkeepers. Now, it's important to share this. So if you've been multitasking, you're doing other things, I just want you to pause and listen to this. This is a big question I get all the time. And it seems to cause people to kind of get stuck and then you don't sign up. So this is really important. Our group memberships or my group memberships, they are not staged based. So for instance, some of you think that only retail CEOs, the people who have hit stage 5, and that's of my quiz. If you haven't taken my quiz, go take it. It's savvyshopkeeper.com/quiz. That only those people in stage 5 can join Master Shopkeepers. But your stage doesn't matter. It's how much support and engagement you want from the group membership that will be the deciding factor between joining the lab or Master Shopkeepers. So the Shopkeepers Lab is self-directed. You engage, you ask questions in the group when you want, and you take in the lessons in the Academy when you want to. Really, you determine the path and the strategy of taking it all in. That's totally up to you. While in Master Shopkeepers, you get much more of me. I mean, I'm in there every day, multiple times a day, including opportunities for hot seat coaching sessions, way more group connections because we're on Zoom calls all the time, more in-depth content, more support, way more education. I do like the email challenge. We're doing a Profit First book club right now. I did a Q4 challenge last year, and that doesn't even include the other classes that I teach throughout the year. How to read your P&L, lots of stuff. Plus, you get territory protection. So it's really just a matter of choosing. Do you want a self-directed group where you kind of just dip your toe in and, get into the Academy and use the lab Facebook group to ask questions and to learn about other shopkeepers? Or do you want much more connection, more group calls, more of me answering your questions, getting to know you, coaching you? So I have aspiring shopkeepers, that's stage 1, and savvy starters, stage 2, in Master Shopkeepers. So again, I just want to stress that your stage doesn't matter. It's how much connection or how much more you want from the group membership. Again, this question comes up often enough that I thought I'd address it here. And I created a new page on my website that helps explain this visually way better than before. I don't know why it took me so long to do this. But if you want to see a side-by-side comparison of the 2 group memberships, you'll go to savvyshopkeeper.com/group, GROUP membership. savvyshopkeeper.com/group membership. Okay, so the last thing that I want to mention is that your responses are also the reason I'm reminding shopkeepers about my 72-page marketing ebook, and I'm offering it for only $19. Getting foot and online traffic was a top struggle in the survey responses, obviously. I talked about that a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and link this in the show notes, of course. But if you want this marketing ebook, you'll visit savvyshopkeeper.com/get retail traffic. savvyshopkeeper.com/get retail traffic. All this to say, and I feel like I've already said this several times, I am listening. And in fact, I hope I'm always listening. I'm always listening to you. That is the most important thing, where I'm not just like creating content for myself, I'm creating it for thousands and thousands of other retail store owners. So I gave away 2 one-on-one coaching calls from the people that completed the survey, and both winners have booked their calls with me, and I'm really looking forward to those sessions. Thank you again for taking the time to complete the survey. And if you missed the survey, I feel pretty confident that I will open up another survey in 2023, and I really encourage you to take that when it becomes available. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, you can visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 132. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.